What's up, everybody? Rob Stallone here from StalloneSports.com. Coming at you with my second video. Saturday, January 28th. Huge slate of games today. Big 12 SEC Challenge. That's where most of my games fall today, but I'm ready to go. I'm excited. Been up early, late last night, breaking down these games. And coming off my first video Wednesday, gave you the outright winner, Georgia Tech plus 10. They won the game, money line. Told you could get them about plus 450. Got that. That was a nice day. Big haul that day. Been a very average week, but that play definitely is helping out here. Went 0-1 last night. Quinnipiac couldn't get there in the game all game till the very end. Just couldn't buy a basket. But anyways, moving on to today. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plays I'm going to share with you guys today. That's on my official card. Got some other things sprinkled in, but I'm not going to waste time breaking those down. I'm just going to give you my 5 best plays for today. So number 1, we got Kansas and Kentucky. Kansas is catching 7.5 at Kentucky today. Number looks big to me. It really does. I was expecting maybe 5.5. I know Ken Palm rankings, you're looking about 8 points, which is where this line is. But simply put, I just think this is too many points. Now, granted, I will say I don't think Kansas or Kentucky is as good as the national media says they are. Kansas has some depth issues, most definitely, and they can't protect the inside, which does worry me today. But I do believe their guard play and their experience is going to help them in this game. Kentucky coming off that loss to Tennessee, it was clear they weren't prepared for that game. Maybe looking ahead to this one. And look, no one's going to doubt this team's talent. They're uber talented, but they're young, they're inexperienced. And in a high-pressure game like this, laying 7.5 to Kansas that's asking a lot for this team. You know what? I'm just not convinced they can do it. If Kansas wins this game, is anybody going to be surprised? No. Am I going to be surprised? Definitely not. I think this is more. These teams are pretty even in my mind. So home court, maybe give them 5. I think you're getting a couple 2.5 points of value here. I think that's enough to make a play. I like Kansas plus 7.5. Sprinkle on the money line if you want. I'm going to stay away just because of how horrendous their free throw shooting has been, and their depth worries me. If they get in foul trouble, this could be a dicey play. But I'm interested to see how the first half plays out, and maybe if they have a lead going to the half, I might get on Kentucky for a little bit of a hedge in the second half. We'll see how it goes. But play number 1, Kansas Jayhawks plus 7.5. Plus 7s you can get. I would go as far as 6.5. If it goes down to 6, I would leave it alone. But 6.5, 7.5, that's good. I got 7.5 still out there right now. Next game, Texas Longhorns plus 5.5 at Georgia. There's going to be a common theme here today for me. In these Big 12 SEC games, I want to lean to the Big 12 side. I want any reason to be on a Big 12 team here. Now, obviously, it's not okay to just play that blind, but I like what I see from this Texas team. I really do. They're really young, and they have a brutal schedule in the Big 12 this year. But they're starting to show me signs under Shaka Smart that they have turned things around. And when Mac went out, I was worried. But you know what? They played better. Their young guys are starting to contribute, and I like the spot for them today. Granted, they're 0-5 straight up on the road this year. They lost to Kansas by 12, Baylor by 10, Iowa State by 9, Kansas State by 3, and Michigan by 3. Now, yeah, they lost all those games, but those are respectable scores. When you consider how young of a team Texas is, I mean, you can be competitive in all those games, and the reason they're competitive is their defense. Their defense has been very good as of late. They have a lot of length, a lot of youth, but a lot of length inside. I think they can frustrate the Bulldogs here. They're coming off a confidence-boosting win against Oklahoma. They got it done late, and I think they're going to ride that here. And I think people are too focused on these teams' records. When you look at the records, yeah, this looks like Georgia's the obvious play here, but Georgia's lost 2 straight games. They blew a horrendous game at Texas A&M the other week. I talked about in my last video. And then they got blown out by Alabama last game by 20 at home. Listen, I like Georgia. Georgia's a solid team, but in my mind, Texas is the better team. You factor in home court. I'm getting 5.5 here. I think this line should be more like 3. I like Texas here in what should be a grindy defensive battle. Both teams very good on the defensive end, struggle to score at times. I don't see how Georgia scores enough points to cover this number. I really don't. If Mayton and Frazier aren't scoring, this offense there's nothing there. So, I mean, if you can shut down at least one of those guys, you got a chance to win. getting 5.5 here with a better team. I think they're more battle tested. They played better teams in the better conference. Georgia's going to have a hard time scoring here. I got to take the 5.5. Wouldn't be surprised to see Texas win this game, but I'm definitely on the 5.5 here with the Longhorns. Moving on, I got another Big 12 team here, Kansas State +1. Now, as soon as I posted this game, line shot up. Kansas State's about a 2-point favorite now, so I apologize for that. But hey, I got it +1. I wrote it up as a +1 play, and I would go. I'm not a fan of laying the 2 now that we had +1 before, but I still like Kansas State to win this game. So tread lightly. I mean, obviously +1 and -2 are two totally different things. The value is gone, but I still like Kansas State to win this game. So I'll keep this one short, but it's more of a gut play for me. I like the Wildcats. I've been looking to bet on them this year. They're very underrated. They're a well-balanced team. Okay, they share the ball and they're tough. They're a really tough team, and they're coming to play Tennessee today, who's in the ultimate flat spot. They just knocked off Kentucky. Okay, I've had a week off to hear about. They played on Tuesday, I think. They've had a few days off to hear about how good they are, celebrate their win, and now they got to face Kansas State. And Kansas State has shown they can go on the road and hang with these Big 12 teams. They went to Oklahoma State, won by 8. Went to Kansas, lost by a bucket. Went to Texas Tech, lost by 1, and then they lost by 5 at Iowa State. In a game, they were getting smashed, and they came all the way back. They showed me a lot in that game. They're a very tough-nosed team. I think they're more battle-tested. I like them. There's not much that I like about Tennessee. Yes, they're athletic, but I think we have the coaching matchup here. The toughness matchup favors Kansas State in both ways here. I like Kansas State to get the job done in this game, win the game outright. Not going to really tell you to lay the 2, but maybe play them on the money line if you can find a good number. But the +1 was I was all over that. You could have got the money line about +100. I would still lay money line -120. Anything more than that, I would stay away. You're losing the value. And I would definitely, if you want to play them in the first half. I would take them definitely in the first half. This is a big-time flat spot for the Vols. Kansas State can get on them early. Next game, West Virginia, -15. This game tips off in about half an hour, so I apologize for getting this up a little bit late, but A&M has no idea what they're walking into here in Morgantown. They really don't. Short and sweet, the Aggies are 296th in the country in turnover percentage. They turn the ball over 26% of their offensive possessions in SEC play against SEC defenses. I mean, if they turn the ball over 20 times, 25 times in this game, they're getting run out. And I think that's going to happen. West Virginia at home has shown to be a monster. It blew out Kansas, it blew out Baylor. There's no way I'm stepping in front of West Virginia here. And I think 15 seems like a big number, but people I've been saying this for weeks, they haven't come to grips with how bad Texas A&M is this year. They really aren't that good of a team. They have no good ball handlers. This is going to be a mess for them. They're going to lose by 20 easily. I think 20, 25 points here. 15, I don't like laying big numbers. Anyone who follows me knows I do not bet big favorites. I'm laying the 15 here. They're going to roll them. They're vastly superior in every way. And when you don't see this press and then you go and see it on the road for the first time, you're in deep trouble. They're going to be up doubles at halftime. They're going to cruise. I like West Virginia here minus the 15. And lastly, I got a money line parlay with Oregon and North Carolina. And I don't really like to throw parlays in much, but couldn't really get there with the 6 or 7 points I had to lay with each of these teams in their individual matchups. But for North Carolina, they go to play Miami today. Their depth is going to overpower. Their size is going to overpower Miami. Miami is not as good as the years past. I don't know if the markets have quite caught up to that. I don't really feel comfortable laying the points with North Carolina on the road, although I do not see a way they lose this game. But they've shown to be a little bit shaky in this point spread range on the road. So I'm going to take them on the money line, and I'm going to parlay them with the Oregon Ducks. Listen, I tried to step in front of Oregon the other night at Utah. Thought I had a winner there. Thought I had a good spot, but the Ducks just proved again how good of a team they really are. And they go to Colorado here, and this is a fade of Colorado. I see nothing I like from Colorado this year. Their defense is atrocious. Oregon's going to be able to put whatever they want. I mean, if you wanted to lay the 7 with Oregon, I wouldn't talk you out of it. The back-to-back at Utah, at Colorado scares me a little bit, so kept me off laying the 7. But I definitely will put them on the money line parlay here with North Carolina. Oregon should get this win. I'd be shocked if they lost this game. So we'll parlay. North Carolina, Oregon together. You get about minus 115 right now on that parlay. So basically a pick 'em price for both these teams to win. I think that's a good investment. So just to recap, Kansas plus 7.5, Texas plus 5.5, Kansas State plus 1, minus 2 now, West Virginia minus 15, and a North Carolina, Oregon moneyline parlay plays about minus 115. I got one single unit on all of these. No big bets today, but I like these 5. I had them circled, and the lines came out about where I expected, and jumped on them. So there you have it, 5 plays for today, Saturday, January 28th. Big 12 SEC showdown today. Also, a lot of good Big 10 matchups. Just couldn't get there with some of them, but best of luck. Those are my 5 plays today, and let's have a winning day. Talk to you later.